Hello movie lovers, welcome back to Ray's Real Review. Today we're going to be talking about Justice League. Released in 2017 by Warner Brothers, Justice League stars Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Amy Adams, Ezra Miller, and Jason Momoa. The movie starts where Batman vs. Superman left off. Superman is dead, Lex Luthor has gone to jail and had a haircut, and has warned Batman that, quote-unquote, he's coming, ding 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 ding. This, of course, has led Batman to the conclusion that he has to form a team of metahumans to fight whoever he is. And so the movie starts with Batman on a recruiting mission. Wonder Woman is hesitant to join the fight, of course, since she's been through so much since Steve Trevor in World War II. Aquaman doesn't want to get involved simply because he doesn't want to be part of Atlantean politics or Earth politics. Flash is sold on the idea of joining as soon as he meets Batman. It's Batman. Of course you're going to join Batman. And Cyborg is involved whether he wants to be or not due to the origin of his powers and how they're intrinsically linked to the main threat in this movie. Without giving too much of the movie away, we can talk about Steppenwolf, the main villain of this movie, and the fact that he was voiced by Kieran Hines. Hines does an amazing job in voicing Steppenwolf. The only thing that takes away from his performance is the fact that Steppenwolf himself is entirely CGI'd. One thing I have to mention here, and I'm sorry if this is a bit of a spoiler, it can't be a spoiler if I've already told them who's in the movie, right? Is the unfortunate mustache incident. At some point in the making of this movie, Henry Cavill had to come back in for some reshoots, but unfortunately he had a mustache at the time and wasn't able or willing to shave that mustache. So the result ended up being a couple of scenes where you can tell he has a mustache, but that they've used CGI to hide it, and unfortunately because it's so obvious it does take away from the scene. Personally, I wonder if they could have removed the scenes entirely, or at the very least put a bit more of a budget into removing the mustache so it wasn't quite so noticeable. I mean seriously, it's Warner Brothers. They have the budget. Aside from that, the actors in this movie did a great job. Henry Cavill returned as Superman and did an excellent job as he did in the last two movies. Seriously, I can't get around telling you about this. He's in the cast. Gal Gadot once again played a very convincing Wonder Woman. And Ezra Miller did a great job of bringing across the Flash character. He was both quirky and energy-ridden and entertaining and endearing. If anything, I thought he added just the right amount of Flash's attitude to this movie. And of course I have to mention Ben Affleck as Batman. He did a great job in this movie in the same way that he did in Batman vs. Superman and even his appearance in Suicide Squad. Ignoring all of the Warner Brothers politics and the script changes and the director changes and everything else, I think Affleck has brought a Batman to the screen that I've been waiting for since the animated Batman in the 90s. Oh yeah. Unfortunately, because of the changes that Warner Brothers tends to make with their comic book movies, this movie does feel a bit at odds with itself. What I mean is that some parts of the movie are actually rather intense and serious, and other parts of the movie are fairly light and fluffy, almost like you would expect from a Justice League cartoon on a Saturday morning. Don't get me wrong, I understand where Warner Brothers would want to lighten this movie up for the sake of audience appeal. They did the same thing in Batman vs. Superman. But like Batman vs. Superman, their meddling actually took away from this movie. It's the end of the world. It's not supposed to be a party. Just to be clear, whatever criticism I might have of this movie is not intended to be negative. My daughter and I have been looking forward to watching this movie since we heard it was coming out. We're big DC comic fans. And overall, we thought the movie was great. It was very entertaining. It was definitely watchable. We'll watch it again, I'm sure. But I can't help but wonder if there's going to be an uncut edition that's released later, just like with Batman vs. Superman, just to show what Zack Snyder had originally intended before Joss Whedon got involved. More importantly, before Warner Brothers got involved. And that's my review of Justice League. So in short, I recommend this movie. It's definitely worth watching and I highly recommend you go and find it. If you haven't yet, check out Suicide Squad and Batman vs. Superman, but check out the uncut edition. They're much better. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought of the movie. Let me know what you think of my opinion of Ben Affleck as Batman. And as always, if you'd like to support my channel, like, share, or subscribe. And if you'd like to support my future reviews, please visit me on Patreon. Thanks so much, guys. Take care.